Chris, what's the first step to putting your stamp, maybe in the secondary pass coverage? Where do you start?
Well, the first thing I want to make sure they're doing is coming out here and living the culture of Ohio State football that Coach Meyer has, and it's going 4 to 6, A to B, and playing with extreme effort. And as long as we can do that, we'll fix anything else that we have wrong. I mean, we got some talented players here that if they can be consistently in the right spots and execute and are going at a maximum effort, we're going to do pretty well.
So that doesn't involve much scheme.
I know. It doesn't matter what we do schematically. I mean, we're going to have a philosophy. We're going to have a system, an identity about what we're doing. But really, it's all about how hard we play and how consistent we are doing it.
Is it something that it's whatever you're going to do, it's not going to work until the fundamentals are all sound?
Yeah, I mean, that's all part of it. But, again, none of that's even going to matter if we don't play with great effort. So it all starts with the effort. And then once we get the effort where we want it to be, then we'll worry about the details of what we're doing. Our alignments, our footwork, our hands, our eyes, all those things will come in time. But right now, that's not the main focus.
When you analyze the talent overall, you've been in a few spots. When you analyze the talent overall here, what kind of comes to mind?
Well, one thing that jumps out at me is we're young on defense, but I think we're very talented. That people want to say you're inexperienced. Well, that will only last for so long. And by the time we get through 15 spring practices, summer, fall training camp, hey, there's no room for inexperience anymore. It's go time, and we'll be ready to go by the time we play. But I think we're talented. They're very talented at some positions, even though we're young.
Is this kind of what you expected? You faced Ohio State for a few years. Did you expect this much talent, less talent? What's kind of?
It's hard to tell because when you're practicing against good other players that have talent too, it's hard to kind of see really what level you're at, and we'll find out once we play games in the fall.
Chris, when are y'all here? Did you guys? Did you pick up anything from him, from his observations?
Yeah, Coach Shiano's been a very successful coach at a lot of different stops. He's a great defensive mind, very smart, very intelligent. And he got a chance to come out and evaluate our practices. He's watched some film with us. Got to pick his brain on some things, whether it be scheme things, fundamental things, just different philosophies on defense. So it's been great to have him around for a couple of days.
Can you say a couple things he's pointed out, or that you guys have picked up on? He's picked up on around you guys.
Well, the one thing that stood out to him, he's been in the NFL for the last couple of days. Practices are different, or last couple of years, practices are different in college. The effort's a little bit better. There's a little more physicality out here in the college game than there is in the NFL game. So, he likes the way that we practice. That's the number one thing he's seen.
Chris, is it a negative to not have? I mean, obviously, there's going to be some negative to not having Vaughn out there this spring. How detrimental is that to him and for you?
Well, there's two types of reps that guys can get. They get game reps and mental reps. And right now, Vaughn has got to take advantage of the mental rep opportunities that he gets, and he's doing that so far. He's still in all of our meetings. He's getting coached extremely hard in the meetings, and he's getting a lot of good mental reps out here at practice. From a physical standpoint, yeah, it's too bad that he's not out there. But does it hurt us? No, it's next man in. Cam Burrows has stepped in, has taken advantage of the opportunity, and done a great job. Vaughn will be healthy soon, and we're going to have a great competition for those safety positions.
Was there something you needed to see? I mean, you're coming in, getting to know the talent, and having everybody out healthy and on the field would seem like it'd be pretty important for you.
Well, it is. I mean, we're not going to make any decisions here in the first few days of spring or at the end of spring. Everybody's going to be competing all the way through training camp for those spots, again, because nobody's proven back there. So would Vaughn definitely benefit from the opportunities? Absolutely. Is he going to hurt himself because of it? Not necessarily, but Cam's done a nice job in his absence.
Chris, who's caught your eye in these first 4 practices? I mean, a guy that, Coach Meyer was talking about Darren Lee the other day to us and stuff, but who has caught your eye, a couple of players?
Well, there's several guys, up front. When you talk about Noah Spence, I've heard about Noah Spence. I didn't see Noah really play last year other than some of the cut-ups that we watched when I got here. He's really stood out at the D-line position. There's several others, obviously. Joey Bosa is a good player. The linebacker position, Darren Lee and Chris Worley both have really stood out. They're out there at new positions doing a great job. Raekwon McMillan, the freshman that's here, should be in high school. Looks like he's got a chance to be an outstanding player at the linebacker position, but there's several guys there. In the secondary, Tyvis Powell, I think, has really stood out. He looks like he's got a chance to be a real guy, and excited about him. But Durant Grant has been giving a superb effort here through the whole offseason since I've been here. I've been very impressed with him.
What do you like about Powell? And obviously, he's a little bit into transition, although he did play safety that last game last year. What do you like about him?
The obvious is he's long, he's tall, he can run. He's got great ball skills. He's a very smart player. He's got really good football IQ. So, we'll see what he does when the pads are on and we're going live tackling, and hopefully get a chance to see that Saturday. But up to this point, Tyvis competes. He's smart. and got a little bit of everything.
Burrows and Powell
Where
both
does Conley fit in? It looked like he got some reps with the ones today. Where does Conley fit in the mix here back in the back?
They're all competing. I mean, whether you're on the first line, second line, it doesn't matter right now. We just want to see guys compete, see who's going to be consistently doing things the right way, and then we'll make decisions about where guys are going to fit, later on. But right now, they're all in the mix.
Burrows and Powell both started here as corners. I wonder if that's beneficial to the style that you're going to play, having them at safety.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you can get big corners like that, they have good feet and hips and can run, they have some toughness, it's outstanding. I mean, they're the model of what we'd like to recruit here.
Jamal Marcus played real well in the Orange Bowl. It looks like he's running third team right now. Is there something? Is he banged up, or what can you tell us about Jamal Marcus?
Oh, there's just a lot of competition up there with those guys. It's probably, in my opinion, of the teams I've been on, they're most guys up front that can actually play. So there's extreme competition, and you're going to have to be pretty good to get in that rotation.
Hey, Chris, Coach Meyer was talking about this, and others have talked about it before we got to talk to you, but the simplified approach, at least early and stuff. How did y'all put that across to them, and just what did you tell them you wanted to see more than anything else, I guess, from a defensive standpoint here early?
Well, it gets back to the effort and not making a lot of mental mistakes. And the way you get great effort and minimize mental errors is simplicity. Be simple with your approach and do what you do extremely well. Then you can branch off from there. So we got to be great teachers, teaching the concepts, get them to understand how we want them to play, and then we'll expand and do a little bit more. But we're not going to be a defense that's what I call a guru defense or junk defense. We're going to be executors about what we do, and it's going to be about the effort and the fundamentals and consistency.
Well, one quickie. What's something you? Well, I didn't mean to do that, but what's something you like and something you've seen you don't like so far from this group?
Well, what I like is I like the effort. They come to practice every day. They come to the office every day to be coached. I like that. I can't say there's anything that I don't necessarily like, up to this point. We'll see when we start going live if there's something I don't like.